Okay, here we are bringing you the 1988 Topps Chewing Gum baseball cards. Okay, and we have a whole lot to this collection, to this set. So let's start with the 87 Record Breakers. Vince Coleman. Don Mattingly. Mark McGwire. Eddie Murray. It's a good one of Eddie Murray. Look at that, with the bats in the hand. Phil Niekron. Nolan Ryan. Benny Santiago. Okay, and then we have future star Kevin Elster. Great job. Oh, and he was for the Mets. Andy Hawkins for Padres. Ryan Sandberg for the Cubs. Ricky Horton for the Cardinals. Harold Baines for the White Sox. And these are the two leaders for the Red Sox. Kevin Gross for the Phillies. Mark Davison for the Twins. And here we have a future All-Star, Al Leather for the Yankees. Now remember, this is in 1988, okay? Ron Oyster for the Reds. Kirk McCaskill for the Angels. Chili Davis for the Giants. Sparky Anderson, he was the manager for the Tigers. Andre Thomas for the Braves. Bill Schroeder for the Brewers. Mike Young for the Orioles. Ed Ramiro for the Red Sox. Rob Deere for the Brewers. Let's slide them over a little bit. We won't be able to see them good. There we go, Greg. Greg Swindle for the Indians. Ken Landrix for the Dodgers. Jim DeShare for the Astros. Andre Galarraga for the Expos. Mitch Williams for the Rangers. R.J. Reynolds for the Pirates. Josh Nunez for the Blue Jays. Argenis Salazar for the Royals. Sid Fernandez for the Mets. Bruce Bochy for the Padres. Mike Morgan for Mariners. His head was in the way, and it's like, wait a minute, that looks like a P, but it's supposed to be in Mariners. Put his head right in there. There you go. That was funny. I was going to say, wait a minute, a different team? That's different. Okay. Jamie Moyers for the Cubs. That was a good one. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, because there's a lot more to this collection. And of course, share with other sports fans. Baseball season's here. Bye-bye now. All right, here we are bringing you some 1988 Topps Chewing Gum baseball cards. Okay, now remember, this is 1988. These were the players. Okay. Hubby Brooks for the Expos. Dave Clark for the Indians. Alan Ashby for the Asteroids. Joaquin Andujar for the Athletics. Darnell Coles for the Pirates. Kent Quebec for the Twins. Lou Piniella was the manager for the Yankees. Cool. Dick Schofield for the Angels. Bill Landrum for the Reds. Bob Mervyn for the Giants. Orel Hershier for the Dodgers. Gerald Perry for the Braves. Mark Cudson for the Brewers. Ricky Henderson for the Yankees. Danny Cox for the Cardinals. Dave McGaden for the Mets. Tim Cruz for the Dodgers. Ed Hearn for the Royals. Phil Bradley for the Mariners. Jim Clancy for the Blue Jays. Kurt Wilkerson for the Rangers. Don Robinson for the Giants. These are the Oriole leaders. Jeff Calhoun for the Phillies. Jeff Hamilton for the Dodgers. Jimmy Jones for the Padres. Ken Caminiti for the Asteroids. Leon Durham for the Cubs. Sean Raleigh for the Phillies. Ken Obertfeld for the Braves. Dave Dravicki for the Giants. Mike Hart for the Orioles. Roger Clemens for the Red Sox. Roger Clemens. Cool. Gary Betis for the Angels. Dennis Eckersley for the Athletics. Randy Bush for the Twins. Tom Lasoda. He was the manager for the Dodgers. Joe Carter for the Indians. Alright, now remember, these are 1988 players of the baseball team. Hope you've enjoyed my bringing them to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, and by all means, share with others. Alright, all the baseball fans from history all want to see some of these cards. Alright, bye-bye now. Alright, here we are bringing you some of the 1988 Topps Chewing Gum baseball cards. Now remember, this is 1988. Alright, here are the players. Denny Martinez for the Expos. Tom O'Malley for the Rangers. Dan Petrie for the Tigers. Ernie Witt for the Blue Jays. Mark Langston for the Mariners. These were the leaders for the Reds. Darrell Ackersfeed for the Indians. Josh Quindo for the Cardinals. Cecilio Gontes for the Yankees. Howard Johnson for the Mets. Ron Kakuvis for the White Sox. Mike Manson for the Cubs. Ernie Rallies for the Brewers. Alan Anderson for the Twins. Jack Clark for the Cardinals. Chuck Finley for the Angels. Rainy Guzels for the Orioles. Scott Garrelts for the Giants. Todd Benzinger for the Red Sox. Lance Parrish for the Phillies. Chuck Jackson for the Astros. Bob Sebra for the Expos. Lean Matuzik for the Dodgers. I can't say half of these, huh? Joey Cora for the Padres. Dale Murphy for the Braves. Gary Truman for the Royals. Barry Larkins for the Reds. Kurt Young for the Athletics. Dick Williams was the manager for the Mariners back in '88. Jesse Orozco for the Mets. Jim Whalewonder for the Tigers. Scott Baileys for the Indians. Steve Lyons for the White Sox. Joe Skinner for the Yankees. Teddy Hagera for the Braves. Wow, look at the spread on his legs. Very athletic. All right, and these were the leaders for the Expos. Les Lancaster for the Cubs. Kelly Gerber for the Blue Jays. Jeff Russell for the Rangers. Johnny Ray for the Angels. Jerry Don Clinton for the Royals. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend. By all means, share the video with other baseball fans, especially those who used to go to the games back in 1988. All right, bye-bye now. All right, here we are bringing you some of the 1988 chewing gum baseball cards from Topps. Okay, now this is 1988. Let's start right here. James Steele for the Padres. Rob Welch for the Dodgers. Robbie Wine for the Astros. Kirby Puckett for the Twins. And of course we have the checklists. They all count in the cards. Tony Bernanzard for the Athletics. Tom Cadiotti for the Indians. Ray Knight for the Orioles. Bruce Husk for the Red Sox. Steve Jeltz for the Phillies. Jim Gott for the Pirates. Johnny Grubb for the Tigers. Gary Matthews for the Mariners. Jesse Barfield for the Blue Jays. Jerry Brownie for the Rangers. Mitch Webster for the Expos. Chris Bozio for the Brewers. Brian Dayette for the Cubs. Dennis Rasmussen for the Reds. Chuck Tanner, he was the manager for the Braves. Greg Matthews for the Cardinals. Donnie Hill for the White Sox. Don Scusi for the Mets. Buddy Bell for the Reds. Greg Minton for the Angels. These right here were the leaders for the Royals. Andy Van Skyl for the Pirates. Mickey Tetelton for the Athletics. Don Gordon for the Indians. Bill Madlock for the Tigers. Donnie Nixon for the Mariners. Bill Buckner for the Angels. Camilo Martinez for the Padres. I say that all real fast. Ken Howell for the Dodgers. Eric Davis for the Reds. Bob Nieper for the Astros. Jody Reed for the Red Sox. Johnny Habryan for the Orioles. Jesse Stone for the Phillies. Bruce Sutter for the Braves. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, and by all means, share with other fans the great game of baseball. Here we are with another season. So these are the 88s. Big players in 1988. So stay tuned for more because there's a lot more to this collection. Bye-bye now. Alright, here we are bringing you some more of the 1988 Topps Chewing Gum baseball cards. Okay, remember, these are the players of 1988. All the good ones. Wade Boggs for the Red Sox. Dave Menz for the Astros. Franklin Stubbs for the Dodgers. Lance McCullers for the Padres. Dave Engel for the Expos. Dan Quincyberry for the Royals. I don't know if I got that one right. Quite the name here. Tom Kelly was the manager for the Twins. Brian Fisher for the Pirates. Devon White, Topps All-Star Rookie in 1988 for the Angels. Great job. John Caruth for the Blue Jays. Candy Maldonado for the Giants. Wes Gardner for the Red Sox. Frank Tanana for the Tigers. Dwayne Henry for the Rangers. Charlie Polio for the Braves. Terry Kennedy for the Orioles. Dave Cone for the Mets. Ken Phelps for the Mariners. Tom Lawless for the Cardinals. Ivan Cladderon for the White Sox. Hi, Ivan. Rick Rodin for the Yankees. Rafael Palmeiro for the Cubs. Steve Kiefer for the Brewers. John Russell for the Phillies. Dale Mahorczyk for the Rangers. And here we have a manager, Dave Johnson for the Mets. Jeff Reed for the Expos. Kevin Bass for the Astros. Phil Gardner for the Dodgers. Eric Pluck for the Athletics. Lloyd McClellan for the Reds. Here are the leaders for the Cubs. Rick Grossage for the Padres. Ross Jones for the Royals. Barry Jones for the Pirates. Rance Malinicek for the Blue Jays. I know I got that wrong. Rick Rodriguez for the Athletics. Robin Yount for the Brewers. Alright, so this is part of the 1988 baseball game. Baseball players. So stay tuned for more, as there's a lot more to the 1988s, that's for sure. And maybe you'll find your favorite star in them all. So keep watching. Okay. Be sure to share now. Other fans want to see some of this. This is some good players from the 1988s. Especially if you were one that used to go to the games. Alright. Bye-bye now. Alright, here we are bringing you some more of the 1988 Topps Chewing Gum baseball cards. Alright, so these are the great players of 1988. Now let's get right to it. Alright. Atlee Hammaker for the Giants. Tim Hallett for the White Sox. Brad Ansberg for the Yankees. Willie McGee. Oh, Willie McGee for the Cardinals. Brian Smith for the Expos. Mark Millamore for the Angels. And then here we have some leaders for the Rangers. Good job, guys. Alright, Glenn Hoffman for the Dodgers. Fred Tolliver for the Phillies. Paul O'Neill for the Reds. Nelson Labrano for the Blue Jays. Domingo Ramos for the Mariners. Mike Stanley for the Rangers. Dan Swassender for the Twins. Harry Spillman for the Giants. Jerry Reyes for the Angels. Wow, it's quite an older fella playing. That's back in '88. Okay, Vaughn Hayes for the Phillies. Dave Smith for the Orioles, and I know I got that wrong. Albert Hall for the Braves. Craig Brook for the Brewers. Frank DePino for the Cubs. Willie Randolph for the Yankees. Richard Dotson for the White Sox. Steve Lake for the Cardinals. John Mitchell for the Mets. And that's me. One of my books. Get it and read it. Tom Hens for the Blue Jays. Rafael Bellard for the Pirates. Steve Fair for the Royals. Stan Jefferson for the Padres. And here we have a manager, Tom Trebelhorn for the Brewers. Mike Skilowskia for the Dodgers. Dave Loops for the Astros. Ed Correa for the Rangers. Wallace Johnson for the Expos. Jeff Musselman, Topps All-Star Rookie for the Blue Jays. Pat Tabler for the Indians. Here we have the leaders for the Pirates. And Bob James for the White Sox. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, and we'll bring you some more of the great 1988 players. Alright, be sure to share now, and be sure to sub me. Bye-bye. Alright, here we are bringing you some of the 1988 Topps Chewing Gum baseball cards. Now these are all the great players of 1988. Some of these cards are famous. So check them all out, see what I got. Alright. Alright, Rafael Santana for the Mets. Ken Daly for the Cardinals. Gary Ward for the Yankees. Ted Power for the Reds. Mike Heath for the Tigers. Louis Polonia for the Athletics. Roy Smalley for the Twins. Lee Smith for the Cubs. Damasco Garcia for the Braves. Tom Dierderfer for the Orioles. I know I got it wrong. Sorry. Mark Royal for the Angels. Jeff Robinson for the Pirates. Serious look on him, huh? All right. Jerry Royster for the Yankees. Ken Schrum for the Indians. Mookie Wilson for the Mets. Lee Aliyah, he was the manager for the Phillies back in '88. Okay, and there's the checklist, 133 to 194. Bob Boyer for the Rangers. Tom Foley for the Expos. Mike Marshall for the Dodgers. Storm Davis for the Athletics. Todd Bosley for the Royals. Future star Mike Campbell for the Mariners. Good job. Rick Gerdman for the Red Sox. And that's me. Oh, you guys, I'm sure you'd like this. It's an old-time story. A real story. Okay. Ed Nunez for the Mariners. Ron Kittle for the Yankees. Vincent Coleman for the Cardinals. These are the leaders for the Giants. Drew Hall for the Cubs. Glenn Braggs for the Brewers. Les Stracker for the Twins. Boo Diaz for the Reds. Paul Asamacher for the Braves. Billy Bean for the Tigers. Bruce Ruffin for the Phillies. And Ellis Burks, top All-Star rookie for the Red Sox. All right, good job. All right, love it. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed my bringing these to you. Be sure to sub me, join me as a friend, and we'll bring you some more. And by all means, share with other fans. It's always nice to share. Let them see some of the big players of 1988, and some of these cards are famous. All right, bye-bye. All right, here we are bringing you some 1988 Topps Chewing Gum baseball cards. Okay, some of the great old players from 1988. Some of these are famous, so pay attention to them. All right, and they're all for sale, you know, you can buy anything. All right, Mike Witt for the Angels. Ken Gerhardt for the Orioles. Steve Ontiveros for the Athletics. Garth Eorg for the Blue Jays. Junior Ortiz for the Pirates. Kevin Slitzer for the Royals. And he was the top All-Star rookie back in 1988. Great job. It's always good to see them. Luis Salazar for the Padres. Alejandro Pina for the Dodgers. Josh Cruz for the Astros. Randy St. Clair for the Expos. Pete Incaviglia for the Rangers. I know I got that wrong. I try. That's all I can do is try. Jerry Hairstrong for the White Sox. Doug Jones for the Indians. Connie Lanford for the Athletics. And these are the Asteroid leaders. Tony Fernandez for the Blue Jays. Dave Bergman for the Tigers. Pat Pachillo for the Reds. Manly Trillo for the Cubs. Chuck Krim for the Brewers. Jim Presley for the Mariners. Larry Bowa, he was the manager for the Padres. Great. Phil Lombardi for the Yankees. Pat Perry for the Reds. All right. Life of an Old Woodsman. A True Story. By me. Al Friedrich, he was the all-star, Topps all-star for the Pirates. Bert Bleeven for the Twins. Floyd Rayford for the Orioles. Yang Smith for the Braves. Mitt Thompson for the Phillies. Steve Crawford for the Red Sox. Don Mattingly for the Yankees. Bud Black for the Royals. Josh Urib for the Giants. Eric Show for the Padres. George Hendrick for the Angels. Steve Sack for the Dodgers. Love it when they get the pictures when they're in action. And Billy Hatcher for the Astros. All right. Hope you've enjoyed my bringing you these 1988 baseball cards. Be sure to share with others, especially those who may have gone to the games way back in 1988. Might give them some memories, stories to tell you. You never know. It's always good to hear the old stories. They'll tell you about a game. All right, so be nice and share. Bye-bye now.